Another fiery day of fighting for the UDP will show you how they clashed with the police at the Social Security Board. And the labor unions are coming around. They also oppose BTL's acquisition of SpeedNet. We saw them at today's protest. Plus, Ministers Kareem and Julius, are they low-key warning the Prime Minister about the dangers of SpeedNet acquisition? But will he heed it? Also, former PUC Chairman John Avery weighs in on the PUC's latest move to name a dominant provider in the telecoms sector. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, February 4th, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Every major road network in urban and rural communities, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Houses Road Maintenance Units are doing the work and making a difference. But this program is much more than just cleaning roadsides and patching potholes to enhance road safety. And it is much more than picking up garbage dumped illegally or thrown from passing vehicles. This program is about providing steady, stable employment to Belizeans in every district and giving them the opportunity to positively impact their communities.
This present government here, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing has created a unit which we call the Road Maintenance Unit.
Well, we work for MIDH. We do road maintenance. We take care from the boundary of Orange Rock, Corozal to the border.
That is a normal routine, chopping and leave the place clean, make the tractor can pass. No stone, no iron, nothing, no sign is in the way for the tractor man.
We maintain the culverts for self-repair for when the storm comes, pick up the garbage that is all around. So when storm comes, the open drains are clean so water can flow good.
We patch up the streets and maintain it clear, right? Like patch it with premix and tar and stuff like that. The entire Corozal district.
Every day we do like chip and seal. We patch the road, like cut out the hole there and put premix in the hole, put tar first, then put in the premix. And we maintain the bus shed there, cut out the bus shed there, make sure people safe. I think when they go bus shed there, could breathe some fresh air. We pick up the garbage there along the highway and we maintain from Malante to Belize City, from the George Price, and from the Philip Golson, we go all the way to Cooking Tree. And we make sure all the roads there, all the holes there cover and people who drive could drive safely there.
Right here we are working in Toledo. I see the much appreciation of the people that they're happy what we are here for them now. And they could see the work, and it's proof right here.
He helps me a lot because I can maintain my family, my bills, got a straight job, working with the government 17 years.
Yes, this is something very important and very necessary that it provides job all year round.
This is the way I make my food, so I have to do it.
It help a lot too, because I could provide the house, help pay a bill too, because I couldn't do that in the past years too. So since I did this MIDH trying to help, I make sure I do my part because bills there for pay.
I've been working here at MIDH going to 18 years. And I'm so proud that I am working in this ministry.
I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister.
And what is the Prime Minister's pleasure? Could it be sealing the deal on an acquisition that will make his family $18 million richer? And why has Chairman Bacon gotten such a lucrative contract to the tune of almost $400,000 a year?
So if the Prime Minister thinks that I'm not doing his job.
But you're doing his job, aren't you? Chairman Bacon is the first chairman in history to be given a fireproof clause. He was appointed for 5 years. Why give him that kind of protection?
The Brisenians to stop exploiting this country and stop saddle Belizeans with debt for your own self-enrichment.
Your time is valuable. That's why SARA is coming. A modern revenue authority built to make managing your taxes simpler, faster, and more convenient than ever before. With SARA, you can expect improved services, from quicker responses to queries to faster processing of your tax refunds. No long waits. Filing or paying your taxes? With SARA, you'll be able to do it securely online at any time, from anywhere, thanks to us placing a greater focus on digital convenience and secure digital records. The SARA will also commit to consistent and fair application of tax laws via a risk-based audit and compliance strategy and increased data-driven reforms. With SARA, most of your tax business will be handled online, saving you time to focus on what matters most: your business, your family, your life. And if you need in-person help, SARA will still have staff ready to assist you at all satellite offices countrywide. SARA, tax services made simpler, faster, and more convenient for you.
Hey, 06 para mañana.
89, 23.
16. Ya gané con el 10, con el 50 y con el 03.
Bolido ahora es más fácil. Ahora puedes jugar tu número de la suerte con Digi Wallet. Regístrate y deposita para comenzar. Descarga la aplicación de Bolido y elige Digi Wallet como tu método de pago y cobro.
¡Ya gané!
Cuando enviamos dinero.
Con Bolido gana.
Cuando hacemos recargas.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Belize, You're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, the UDP is likely basking in the afterglow of another day on the political battlefield, where the party flexed and showed its mass party muscularity. Now, even if the crowd was not on the mass party level, the effect was, judging by the amount of trouble they gave police. It's what the opposition calls round two. Round one of their protests against the proposed SpeedNet acquisition happened last week in front of BTL's office on St. Thomas Street. On that occasion, the UDP was able to bring out about 150 supporters, and there was a sprinkling of union members. Today, however, twice the number of protesters were out, including the BNTU, ready to rev up their green machine. And this time, they took it to Social Security, since the board was meeting today to decide their position on the proposed acquisition. Even if the board did end up meeting in Balmopan and not Belize City, that detail seemed to hardly matter to the UDP, which just wanted to be starting something. And we had team coverage of the event. Jaleesa Roberts was on the ground along with Courtney Menzies, and they spoke to the UDP actors as well as the unionists who joined in.
There was a cross-section of political types and social partners joining today's protest in front of Social Security's Belize City office. Showing more numbers than they did at BTL last week, the UDP was muscular as it led the protest, chanting "No means no" behind their party leader.
That we are mandated to pay by law. And so we say, no deal. Enough is enough. Why is it that we are going to sit back and allow John Briceño and his family and his administration to keep their hand in the cookie jar? It is unacceptable.
Also, there was a union senator, Glenfield Dennison, who in yesterday's press conference also offered many reasons as to why a monopoly marketplace doesn't serve democracy.
From the freedom of expression standpoint, I do out here. I know to get into the merits and the merits of profitability and none of that, right? I said it yesterday, any monopoly was profitable, brother. In any industry from tacos, you're the only man to sell tacos, you want to sell all the tacos.
And for the first time, the BNTU Council of Management joined the protest. They marched in singing "We Shall Not Be Moved," and the president said they want answers.
It's very important for us to know, represent our 4,000 plus. We want answers.
And so this is one of the biggest unions. Do you guys believe that you will be able to bring out your numbers within the coming weeks to have a greater showing?
Of course, the first step is to educate them, provide them with the pros and cons of what they're presenting, demanding from BTL the answers that we all need. Because when I listen to them saying that the funds that they are in charge of does not require public consultation, I'm surprised. Because Social Security, we contribute. Government, we are the government. We only elect representatives.
SSB owns 34% of BTL, so the acquisition directly affects their shareholding and, by extension, Belizean workers.
Go as far as the Belizean people allow them to go. That is as far as they will go, and that is as far as they can go. And if the Belizean people resist this through continuous agitation, through continuous demonstration as we're doing, trust me, they will have to rescind from their position, and that is exactly what we hope that ultimately would happen. I think the unions have not really gotten fully involved, fully engaged. And that's the kind of conversation that now will have to be elevated at the National Trade Union Congress of Belize in terms of how do we now engage the general membership of the unions.
And now, as the resistance to acquisition seems to be gaining momentum, the opposition is hoping that a fuse has been lit.
I believe if the government continues to push the way they're pushing, they can expect that this voice will get louder, not only here in Belize City, but nationwide.
For now, Friday is the next expected date for the next protest.
Will the UDP be protesting the House sitting on Friday?
Listen to me, my friend. Did you not hear the leader of the opposition tell you there will be as many phases as possible and as necessary? We wanted it. Oh, no, wanted it.
Jaleesa Roberts, 7 News.
And while that was the scene at the Belize City branch office, as we told you, the board actually met in Belmopan at the SSB headquarters. Once again, they did not take a final position supporting the acquisition. As we understand it, the board continues its process of due diligence. As you saw, union leaders were out there today. Now, they didn't push it as hard as the opposition did, but their presence was surely a political amber alert for the Briceño administration, which could be entering perilous political waters. The BNTU president said they are seeking a membership mandate tonight.
Tonight we consult with our wider membership, because what we do first is that we educate our membership and then we provide them with a poll for them to vote. And it's from there we will know now if the BNTU will be participating fully. As when it comes to industrial action, the membership must give us the mandate.
And the BNTU president also discussed the extreme secrecy surrounding the proposed acquisition, which we heard was coming from the office of the BTL chairman. But the union president looked at the Ashcroft alliance.
The BNTU, at the vote of the NTUCB, voted against this
We voted no to the acquisition because we don't have information. Have you ever paid attention to history? Every single time Brother Ashcroft is involved with something, there's a non-disclosure agreement, non-disclosure agreement, non-disclosure agreement. Every single time. And why is that? Why do we always have to go that road? Now the Belizean people are not happy. And it is our money. It is our money. And we need answers.
Do you think Mr. Briceño, who I would want to think is a younger, more enlightened man, is following in the footsteps of Said Musa?
Well, let's wait and see.
And for the BNTU president, who was a young teacher on the front line 2 decades ago when the protests were against the Musa administration, she said, it's feeling like deja vu.
Is this reminiscent of what happened in 2004, 2005 to you?
Girl, I must say it is. Because I got tear gassed, I was out there in Belmopan every single day. It is, and it's sad. It is sad that they have not taken heed. It is sad. So it is very important for them to understand the importance of consultation.
And we have more news coming up after the break.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Clean and maintain your yard the best way with Honda trimmers and lawn mowers. Honda Lawn and Garden Equipment, available at Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
The Civil Registry Department and Vital Statistics Unit offers correction and birth amendment services to correct information on your certificates. Correction services are meant to fix typos and similar errors. Birth amendment services allow for changing a child's name within the first year of registration, as well as adding or removing the father's details from the birth certificate. Who can apply? Any life event participant involved, such as bride or groom for marriage record corrections, mother, father, or child over 18 for birth record corrections, either the mother or father depending on the type of birth amendment. A person authorized can also apply once they have an authorization form. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. Visit our website at crvs.gov.bz today to access our services.
Indian restaurant located at 148 Newton Barracks Road in Belize City, saying great authentic Indian cuisine. More space, a VIP area, and better ambience. Visit them at their new location or place your order via WhatsApp to 614-667. Restaurant. Come enjoy a true Indian experience.
Remember when Senator Bacon was still a senator? He spoke about transparency and honesty.
If you don't have anything to hide, why don't you bring it to light?
So why did Chairman Bacon hide this? The first ever employment contract for a chairman. Locked in for 5 years with a salary nearly $400,000 a year.
Remember, BTL is owned by the people of Belize.
So while you struggle with high rates, he collects nearly $400,000 a year and gets paid even if he's no longer a director of the company. So even though everyone wants him gone,
NTUCB members wanted to demand Chairman Mark Lizarraga's resignation.
Chairman Lizarraga needs to go.
Bacon ain't giving up that fat salary. And even if he's removed, he still gets paid.
I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister.
Because that's how Chairman Bacon rolls.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, ensuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, ensuring you from life's unexpected.
Un grupo de gente que hemos trabajado muy duro y la tierra es para la gente de Bellavista. ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan tener tierra ¿Para qué? Para que los jóvenes puedan desarrollarse en el futuro. Algo que les hacía falta por mucho tiempo. Nuestros padres vienen de las fincas bananeras. Somos gentes que hemos sufrido mucho. Y ustedes como jóvenes se merecen mejores oportunidades.
If you didn't have land before, you will have land now. Once you have land, you have wealth.
I think they want to build, they want to settle.
I'm already having dreams of my home and everything.
You know, the wires are just, I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I can finally begin to build a house.
It's just a great feeling, you know.
Mi amigo es un hermano, una persona para el pobre. ¿Estamos de acuerdo?
In the heart of Belize, a battle is being waged, not with weapons, but with choices. When waste is disposed of in unauthorized locations, in our forests, drains, and waterways, along our highways, and in vacant lots, this is illegal dumping. The consequences reach far beyond what we see. Toxic chemicals seep into our groundwater, threatening our drinking water. Disease-carrying mosquitoes breed in abandoned tires, and wildlife mistake our waste for food. For over a decade, the Department of Environment has worked tirelessly to clean up these sites. But they can't do it alone. They need your help, and now taking action is easier than ever. Download the ArcGIS Survey 123 app to your phone. You can report illegal dump sites. The app records the location, allows you to add photos. Simply open the app, allow location access, fill in basic details about the site, add a photo, and submit. Your report helps us protect our communities and natural resources. Every report matters. Every action counts. Stand proud in protecting our nation. Our Belize, our responsibility. Bini.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
As you heard before the break, the recent UDP-led protests are beginning to have shades of 2005. Well, that's when students took over the Balkan Bridge and shut down the city to send a message to the Musa administration. Well, today the UDP took over the Balkan Bridge, but it was to get Yellow Man free from custody after police locked up their #1 street soldier early this morning. And even with Yellow Man missing in action, the UDP attempted to storm SSB. And after that is when they took it to the bridge. Courtney Menzies was on the ground this morning, and here's her story.
At 9 o'clock this morning, the crowd of UDP supporters on Princess Margaret Drive calmly stood on the sidewalks in front of Social Security, signs in hand, waiting for directives from the party leader. Police barricades were placed around the compound, along with a cordon rope to keep the protesters out. A few dozen uniformed police officers stood around the perimeter and at the door of the SSB building. And for the first hour and a half, the protests remained peaceful, with the UDP marching in a circle on Princess Margaret Drive in front of the compound, the sound of blaring horns filling the air. Leader of the opposition, Tracy Panton, stayed on the front along with the other elected and appointed members of parliament. But UDP faces from across the country joined in as well. The San Ignacio mayor, the Bemapan caretaker, all but the political field general Brian Yellowman Aldenet. who was taken into custody this morning. His proposed charge, being a member of a gang. But it wasn't just the UDP and their supporters on Princess Margaret today. The NTUCB had applied for its own permit to protest after UDP, but their application was denied. And so while they did not join the opposition per se, they also protested against the SpeedNet acquisition. Same time, same place, same message, but lower volume. The union's start was slower, with the NTUCB president arriving first on scene, along with a scattering of members, including the Belize Communication Workers for Justice. But the tide turned when a small group comprising the BNTU consular management, including President Nadia Khalis, came marching in, singing their songs of solidarity. They were eventually joined by token representation from KHMH Workers Union and the PSU. But the unions drew a stark line between themselves and the UDP, particularly when the UDP began storming the SSP compound. Channeling the spirit of Yellow Man, they broke through the first police line. Patrick Faber got hauled and pulled by his shirt. The Guardian's Alfonso Noble shoved his way through the police line and defiantly held his ground, even when threatened with detention. He clutched the back of a pickup truck and multiple police officers could not pry him away. Chaos quickly erupted as protesters were shoved backwards. Ultimately, the leader of the opposition called off the crowd and they restarted their marching. This time, not only going in a circle but also back up to the line of the police. Eventually, the crowd began pushing their way in against the officers again. Senator Patrick Faber, who made it on the other side of the rope, was carried out by two officers and his colleague Lee Mark Chang. But the officers shoved both of them away, and they fell to the ground. This scene was reminiscent of Faber's 2005 tussle with police. This time around, Noble could be seen at the front, tugging against the rope as another supporter was trapped in between it and the police. The trucks, buses, and vehicles that wanted to cross the bridge were forced to make a detour, reversing or turning around. Eventually, cones were placed to block the road on either sides of the bridge, a concession by police. The UDP held their ground until they received word that Yellow Man was released. They waited on the bridge until the moment he appeared, looking like the prodigal son who returned home.
They picked me up and say they hold me for investigation to be member of our gang. Compelled to bring the evidence that I made send any text or anything by Facebook that we want to have any kind of violence out there. We was going to be peaceful.
So they had you up in the street?
Yes.
Are you a member of a gang?
Just to keep you away from this. That is it, and we are going to sue the police department.
Are you a member? Have you ever been a member of a gang?
I'm not gang bang. I'm a member of the United Democratic Party.
He was embraced by his colleagues and took up the front of the line as the UDP made their final march back to SSP. At that point, the unions had already left, but the police officers remained, guarding the building. However, now, the civilians previously under the shed were gone and the doors had been shuttered. But there were no more fireworks as the UDP supporters quickly dissipated, awaiting the next time they're called upon. Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
About 50 to 60 police officers were on the scene and about 300 protesters. We know that while Yellow Man received an acknowledgement from being the member of a gang, he was not charged. In a text statement to 7 News, the Commissioner of Police says, quote, "The detention of Mr. Ordinet was a lawful action initiated to facilitate a police investigation into credible allegations. These allegations concerned statements attributed to Mr. Ordinet, which suggested a specific intent to cause damage to the Social Security Board building during an upcoming UDP demonstration. It is further noted that the information prompting this investigation originated from within Mr. Ordinet's own organization. Multiple UDP members voluntarily contacted the police department to express concerns that his alleged statements created a risk of violence, undermining their planned lawful and peaceful protest," end quote. Rosado closes by saying, quote, "We support the right to protest so long as it's done in the confines of the law." And the PSU president also showed up today, and the president told us he has standing.
I brought out a special t-shirt or polo shirt today, PSWT. I brought this out deliberately today because I want that independent board of directors to understand that this organization has 794,000 shares. I have family members who own shares in BTL, so we are small. This is the largest singular minority shareholder. And so I want Mr. Yusi to know, you need to speak with the relevant authority before you cast the vote, sir. You are placed there by minority shareholders. And so this is deliberate today.
Tomorrow, the Belize Communication Workers for Justice, made up of former employees, will continue their protests against BTL. On Monday, Julius Espat made a strong stance against his party's Northern Caucus, saying he was disappointed in their statement regarding the proposed SpeedNet acquisition. And while Espat spoke his mind about the consultation process and the potential monopoly, his cabinet colleague Karim Musa has hinted at similar sentiments of caution. Both ministers don't seem to be in full agreement with how the proposed deal is being handled. Courtney Menzies took a look at their recent statements and has this story.
When Cabinet met on January 20th, they arrived at a collective position in the proposed BTL acquisition of SpeedNet. But they said they will not disclose that position until after the key stakeholders had met, so as to not influence their deliberations. However, 2 days later, the PM came out squarely in favor of BTL making the acquisition.
Without a consolidation, their growth is flatlining for the next 5 years. And whilst revenues are not going up, costs continues to go up. So there has to be a way where they could consolidate and create more efficiencies in the industry. That would make BTL more successful and by extension Social Security and all our taxpayers.
But since then, 2 leading ministers have sounded subtle and not so subtle alarms around the acquisition. First, Karim Musa said that BTL's primary obligation right now is to follow the law. That means paying all former employees their severance, which will cost over $20 million. And now this week, Minister Julius Espat took that a step further and said that the Prime Minister's Northern Caucus spoke out of turn and defeated the purpose of Cabinet's restraint in putting forth a position.
I was surprised of that release that came out. I saw it this morning. Why? Because in Cabinet it was decided that there would be no political interference. So I am not in agreement with that. And if the Western Caucus decide it will be with Kaya South, not there. Because we made an agreement that the political interference would not be a part of the decision making, and that I am totally disappointed with.
Espat also cautioned against the perils and potential abuses of a monopoly.
The media says, I am concerned because if you have government-dominated telecommunications, they can put a target on my shoulder and I won't be able to function. More or less, I understood that you guys were saying. That's a valid point. So we have to listen to that. And if it is done, then legislation has to be put in to ensure that that does not happen. The consumers are concerned. I say in the past, if BTL may give me a bad service, but the price may kind of all right, I will consider for go to the guy who will give me a better service, but it's a bit more expensive or less expensive. You have the option. With what is happening, you won't have an option. And I believe that options are always positive.
And Musa cautioned that
We apologize for that abrupt break in transmission due to power failure. We now resume with our interview where we left off.
That's a valid point. So we have to listen to that. And if it is done, then legislation has to be put in to ensure that that does not happen. The consumers are concerned. I say in the past, if BTL may give me a bad service, but the price may kind of all right, I will consider for go to the guy who give me a better service, but it's a bit more expensive or less expensive. You have the option. With what is happening, you won't have an option. And I believe that options are always positive.
And Musa cautioned that rather than rush to make the decision as BTL board appears to have been doing, some level of restraint is needed.
I think you're perfectly right that the consultation has to be comprehensive, thorough, and take into consideration all of these various perspectives, including the Chamber of Commerce. I know that the media has been reporting about a provisional approval that was coming. I don't know anything about that, but at least I am grateful that it was initially put off, because this is a deal that should have been concluded some 2 to 3 weeks ago. I don't think that would have been good.
We take a break now. When we come back, we'll have an update on the little heard of the People's Constitution Commission. And is the PUC shying away from its important role in making sure competition prevails in the telecom sector? Well, that's what we asked yesterday. Don't go away.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m. en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
A young fisherman has been charged with a gun-related offense after police found a weapon on him during one of their patrols. The incident happened on Monday on Riverside Street in Belize City. Police on mobile patrol saw 24-year-old Kyle Cadle riding a bicycle, and as they got closer to him, he sped up and began to ride away. Police then saw him pull something from his waist and threw it behind a zinc fence. When police stopped to look for the item he discarded, they found a black Beretta 9mm pistol. Police investigations led them to detain 24-year-old Kyle Sidney Cadle, who appeared at the magistrate's court today, where he was read 2 gun-related offenses of kept unlicensed firearm and kept unlicensed ammunition. Cadle pleaded not guilty and was denied bail. He was remanded to the Belize Central Prison until April 16th of 2026. Yesterday in court, the woman arrested in August 2025 for attempting to sell a jaguar pelt was found guilty and fined $2,000. Her arrest was the result of a joint enforcement operation by the Forest Department and the Belize Police Department. The operation was initiated following tips from the public and conservation groups regarding the public sale and display of a jaguar pelt on social media. Police and Forest Department officials located the suspect, Lindy Erlino, at her home on Holy Emmanuel Street. The Forest Department encourages anyone with information on forest crime to report it via their social media pages or at the hotline number 610-1524. The People's Constitution Commission. It's been a while since we heard about them after their final report was submitted in May of 2025. Well, the Ministry of Constitution and Religious Affairs today convened a presentation meeting with the former chairs of the PCC as part of the government's ongoing review of the final report. The former PCC chairs presented on the Commission's work and outlined the thematic areas and key recommendations emerging from the constitutional reform process. The release adds that the ministry continues its structured review of the PCC final report, leading to a review and assessment of the recommendations. Former PCC chairs and CEO Chester Williams also attended the meeting. Yesterday, we had a brief clip from the PUC's press briefing on its public consultation on assessment of dominance in telecommunications. Even though it is in the telecom sector, as we learned, it has nothing to do with the consideration of the proposed SpeedNet merger. BTL entered the application for that on January 8th, which is the day before they wanted their board to vote to approve it. So if the BTL board had gone ahead with signing the acquisition, or maybe goes ahead when it meets this Friday, what happens then? We asked the PUC's internal legal counsel.
At what point would BTL be in contravention of the spirit of anti-competition if they do certain actions?
Well, the Act specifically speaks about agreements that are made between license holders with the aim of anti-competitive practices, and that is prohibited by the Act. So that would be in violation of the Act if that is done. But also the PUC, where we suspect or we think there may be, the Act empowers us to act and to make regulations to ensure compliance and reporting.
So BTL cannot sign an agreement to buy out the shares of SpeedNet without the PUC first approving that?
The PUC's approval is required.
But they can make a board decision to say, okay, yes, that's the direction we're going to go. And they won't be in violation of the Act.
Well, I can't speak to the actions of the board, BTL's board.
So there is no restraint on BTL's board of directors, and the latest public consultation on market dominance in the telecom sector is surely not that.
Does the ongoing consultation on the dominant provider have a restraining or injunctive effect on the ongoing move towards an acquisition?
I wouldn't say that, Jules, but what it does is that we have identified certain remedial effect that we can implement as the PUC if such a determination is made. If this determination is made, we intend to, as we set out in the document, we intend to implement certain remedies that we believe will maintain the market.
But it cannot stop a merger/acquisition.
What this public consultation does not do, it does not approve, reject, or put any penalties. It doesn't approve, reject any mergers, any acquisitions, or any transactions, any at all. This public consultation is clear on not doing those things. What it does is it allowed us to look at the market, and this public consultation document and review has been in place way before the realization of a proposed acquisition.
This is an independent, coincidental, really, exercise that started some months ago.
It is an independent exercise that started months ago, yes.
And while the current PUC chairman ducked out of that press briefing, the former chair, John Aver, says he feels the consultation about dominance is to facilitate BTL's acquisition of Smart.
But it seems to me that the reason they're doing this is to facilitate this acquisition of SpeedNet by BTL by alleviating certain fears that BTL could take advantage of its position. They're saying, no, we will impose, we will make regulations, and then we will set the rates so that you don't have to worry that BTL will try to take advantage. However, in my opinion, this has nothing to do with the current issue. BTL acquiring SpeedNet has nothing to do with the rates. Even if they determine that BTL is a dominant provider and SpeedNet still exists, you can go ahead and make these regulations. And then you will be setting rates for both SpeedNet and for BTL. So this has nothing to do with the acquisition thing. In fact, I would argue that if you determine that BTL is a dominant provider, that makes it even more egregious what BTL is trying to do.
So BTL is the dominant provider now and would be even more so if they acquire SpeedNet. But to hear the proponents of the acquisition tell it, the satellite-based Starlink may be the more dominant provider in the future. And fearing that, that is why the PUC intervened in the market and gave that internet provider a rural license. We asked about that.
Since the PUC has shown its interventionist power in limiting the license of Starlink, it has shown that not everything isn't fine. You can't have unregulated competition. It intervened. It said Starlink, rural areas only. I'm amazed that it can act with such a clear and astute sense of the market in limiting competition that Starlink can provide. But it will not do so when the politically favored BTL is about to gobble up the competition and permanently change the market landscape. Would you say there's inconsistency there?
No, Jules, I don't agree with you again, because as we've said here, that matter is before the PUC, and we will determine it. We will issue a decision, a well-reasoned decision when the time comes, and as we usually do with all matters that come before us.
And that's all we have for you for our newscast for tonight. Thanks for watching with your news. I'm Indra Craig. We leave you tonight with some clips from today's dramatic protest. We had drones, cell phones, and all kinds of cameras out there. Enjoy, and make sure to join me back here tomorrow at 6. Have a good night.